The hate for-profit business model against Prince Harry and especially against Meghan Markle is actively putting their lives in danger. And not just their lives, also the lives of their children. My family, once again, a threat on Meghan's life has been made on live TV by someone called Jeremy Kyle, who works for Talk TV, owned by Rupert Murdoch once again. My family, it makes me so sad every single day to come to you for 3 days in a row and inform you of a new threat that has been made to Meghan Markle on live TV. It makes me so sad. Believe me, it makes me so sad. And yesterday, I said no. You know what? I'll just show you what happened or was said. And no wonder I posted a screenshot of what happened yesterday when I found out. And I was finding the words. What can I say about this? What possibly can I say that I haven't even said anymore? Because we've seen a woman beg for her life, telling the press, the tabloids, columnists, presenters on TV shows in the UK, trolls, you are making people want to kill me. Meghan's words in the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix. When will they pay attention and listen? When? I mean, my family, Meghan just fell in love while being a biracial black woman. And she left. She left. They wanted her gone. She left. Yes, they're angry that Harry left with her. But my family, Harry loves Meghan and Meghan loves Harry. These people who incite hate on Meghan and Harry on TV, they don't want Harry and Meghan to be happy. They want them to be sad, miserable, like they are in their lives. And my family, these people want company. They want company in their life because of the misery that they have deep inside of them. My family, before I go deep into what was being said, into what was said, allow me to just remind you of what Meghan said in the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix. Please, kindly, my family, just hear this, please.
You are making people want to kill me. It's not just a tabloid. It's not just some story. You are making me scared.
My family, please just hear this once again.
You are making people want to kill me. It's not just a tabloid. It's not just some story. You are making me scared.
And once again, on live TV, a threat has been issued against Meghan on live TV. And before I talk about what Jeremy Kyle said, allow me to discuss something in what we call victimhood. Victimhood. Meghan Markle has been accused of playing the victim time and time again by the carnival of so-called experts. And I wanted to address this today. The people who accuse Meghan Markle of playing the victim are the ones openly sending threats to Meghan Markle on live TV while accusing her of playing the victim. People like Jeremy Clarkson, whose column incited violence against Meghan Markle. And people were not happy. Members of parliament even, they got involved. My family, Jeremy Clarkson is a friend of Camilla Parker Bowles. And right after attending a party with Camilla, he proceeded to write that vile column. How many times are members of parliament to intervene and call out the hate campaign, the vile rhetoric used against Meghan Markle on UK tabloids or on UK TV shows until the royal family intervenes? Because it's also dangerous what they're doing every single day. For 3 days in a row, for 3 days, I have talked about threat after threat being sent to Harry and Meghan. And it makes me sad. 3 days in a row. 3 days in a row. And my family, I empathize with Harry and Meghan because they are the victims. They are victims of many years of smearing, hate campaign. Many years of this smear campaign. They've been smeared by members of the royal family and the tabloids. The hate campaign, the racism Meghan has endured. And I empathize with both Harry and Meghan because the only thing they have only ever wanted is to feel free to love each other in peace, to live in peace, in harmony. But racists just can't accept it. The Karens can't also accept it. Seeing a biracial black woman happy with a white prince, whom they think in their mind they own. And my family, allow me to go right ahead into what Jeremy Kyle said, which has also angered people online. Now, Jeremy Kyle has come under fire for his vile comments about Meghan Markle during a debate about the royal on Talk TV, owned by Rupert Murdoch. Once again, owned by Rupert Murdoch. And my family, Jeremy Kyle, suggested, and I quote his words on Talk TV, that Prince Harry should throw his wife down a well. Do you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of what Eamon Holmes said. That balcony comment, not comment, balcony hate speech. That Eamon Holmes said, and I quote, that he wanted for Harry and Meghan to be thrown off a balcony. That's what he said. My family, I'm sorry for mentioning the exact comments, but I have to. I'm sorry, but I just have to. Because these people go on TV and they say with their whole chest, Harry and Meghan are playing the victim. With their whole chest. They say it with their whole mouth. They say it. My family, before I continue, just hear what exactly was said once again on TV, please. Because it's important you just hear this. Highly, highly important, my family, because this vile rhetoric must be condemned. Whenever you see this vile rhetoric being used, each and every single one of us has a responsibility to condemn this vile, evil rhetoric being used on live TV against Harry and especially against Meghan Markle, who so happens to be their target. My family, please hear this. It's important that you're able to hear this, my family. And this just makes me very, very sad.
Go and build wells, build schools, go and teach English to foreign language.
Throw her down one.
You know, no, do not do that, Jeremy Kyle. But no, seriously, go.
Hear this once again.
Go and build wells, build schools, go and teach English to foreign
Throw her
language.
down one.
No, do not do that, Jeremy Kyle. But no, seriously, go and devote your life to the well-being
Which
of others.
she did before.
No, which she did before. Now, okay, fine. The royal family gave.
My family, you've heard that yourself. Jeremy Kyle suggesting that Prince Harry should throw his wife Meghan down a well. My family, these are not jokes. I'm sick and tired of seeing media outlets call what is happening their hate speech jokes. You know what? I also recall them saying the same thing about Jeremy Clarkson's vile comments about Meghan. They said it was a joke gone bad, a joke gone wrong. Forgive me, but I haven't laughed. Because those are not jokes. Those are threats. Those, what we see, are threats. And whenever you see someone sending a threat, call the police. Call the police. And my family, these people hide under the cover of free speech. Free speech, they say. But it's not free speech. It isn't. It's hate speech. Hate speech is not the same thing as free speech. Hate speech should be condemned and must be condemned. It must be called out. My family, now why do I speak about this? I speak about this because the tabloids and the carnival of so-called experts are very, very good at rewriting history. And that's why I don't want them to say in the future, hey, look, what threats? What did we do? And no wonder I document it time and time again in each and every single video that I make. Because these threats must be documented. Because the tabloids and the farm together are very, very good at rewriting history and brainwashing people. I mean, look right now what's happening. A mistress is about to be called the Queen. The Queen in the UK. After being coronated, Camilla won't just be called the Queen Consort. She'll be called the Queen. A mistress whom years ago, the idea, the thought of Camilla becoming a Queen Consort was impossible. Or even a queen was impossible. Well, now look. The people were angry about how poorly Diana had been treated. Some of them have amnesia right now. Don't recall what they did. Because of how good the royal family are at rewriting history and silencing those they want to keep quiet, they want to silence. Don't forget that even the BBC said that it will never ever license Diana's panorama interview to other outlets ever again. And the tabloids were jumping up and down saying that, hey, look, finally, the royal family has silenced Diana. Once and for all, they were jumping up and down, celebrating. After BBC said that it will never license Diana's panorama interview to other outlets. And my family, that's why I talk about it. That's why I discuss it in this channel. And my family, going back to what I talked about on victimhood, time and time again, we see the carnival of so-called experts accusing Harry and Meghan of playing the victims. They do that to try and make you accept, the victim accept that the victim is not a victim. That's what they're doing right now and have been doing. All the while they are sending threats to Harry and Meghan on live TV. My family, I've lost even count of the number of threats that we've seen, being made towards Harry and Meghan on TV. We've had Eamon Holmes, we've had Jeremy Clarkson, we've had, Piers Morgan, we have Jeremy Kyle. Years ago, we had members of parliament condemn the abuse against Meghan Markle. When Jeremy Clarkson also wrote that vile column about Meghan, once again, members of parliament called it out. All throughout what is happening right now, the royal family, the farm, led by King Charles, William, Kate and Camilla, have been quiet about it because they endorse and have been endorsing the abuse against Harry and Meghan, especially against Meghan Markle. And my family, Prince Harry and Meghan are victims. They are victims. And I heard that in Harry's conversation with Dr. Gabor a couple of days ago, he said he does not see himself as a victim. My family, allow me to just kindly say this to Harry. I love you, I respect you so much. But Prince Harry, don't play into what they want. Don't play into what they want. Because when you say that, you're making them happy. You're making them go after you. You and Meghan, you are victims. You are victims. When someone abuses you or physically assaults you, what happens? You become a victim of physical assault. When someone hounds you for years, chases you, as Harry said in his memoir, being chased across the streets of London by people who work for Rupert Murdoch, like Rebecca Brooks. My family, you call yourself a victim of hounding, press intrusion, because that is what it is. Meghan, as Harry said in his memoir Spare, he detailed the racism that Meghan endured and experienced, that you'll never ever see any carnival or so-called experts or tabloids discuss that part of Harry's memoir where he talks about racism towards Meghan and towards his son Archie. No carnival of so-called experts would dare have a segment on their show discussing the racism that Meghan endured. No one. They're more focused on paying money to the woman who claimed she took Harry's virginity. That's what they're more focused on. So my family, Harry and Meghan are victims. You are a victim when someone goes on live TV and tells people that he'd like to see you being thrown off a balcony, like what Eamon Holmes said about Harry and Meghan on Harry and Meghan. You're a victim when someone like Jeremy Kyle goes on live TV and suggests that Prince Harry, the father of Archie and Lilibet, husband to Meghan Markle, throws his wife down a well. You are a victim of abuse, a victim of threats, death threats. You become a victim. You are a victim when up to 72 female members of parliament on both sides of the aisle, politics in the UK, all of them join hands to condemn the media's abuse of you. You are a victim. You are a victim when Jeremy Clarkson writes a vile column, hate speech towards Meghan Markle. And then once again, members of parliament intervene to condemn that vile column, hate speech against you. You are a victim. A victim of hate speech, a victim of threats. And yes, Harry and Meghan are victims. They are not playing the victim. They aren't. And whoever implies that, chances are they are part of the abuse against Prince Harry and Meghan. Make no mistake whatsoever about that. My family, make no mistake whatsoever about that. The people who accuse Harry and Meghan of playing victim or victimhood are people who are abusive towards Harry and Meghan. And yes, you can say that Harry and Meghan are also victims of abuse, because they are. And my family, the sad thing is, the royal family is behind it. I mean, just look at the language they use on TV. Please just let me share this kindly, because it's important that I do share this. How they talk about Harry and Meghan when they're accusing them of, playing the victim, in the words of the carnival of so-called experts in the UK. I find this quite, important to discuss and cover and talk about, because I want to talk about this, just once and for all. Please kindly hear this. Now, a carnival of so-called expert called Kinsey Schofield was part of this, Talk TV, where Jeremy Kyle basically issued another threat towards Meghan Markle. Said this: don't forget, Kinsey Schofield is the woman who photoshopped Meghan's face out over engagement photos with Harry and put her face there. So these people are not well in the head. Now here's what she said. Now Kinsey Schofield said that, and I quote, "People are done with the wine fest. They are done with the crying. The way these people, Harry and Meghan, use victimhood as currency, I think culturally we are tired of it." Kinsey Schofield said that. That's what I wanted to discuss and cover. My family, and she said this when you had Jeremy Kyle on that show, on that same moment, imply that Prince Harry, Meghan's husband, should throw his own wife down a well. Issued a threat to Meghan's life on live TV, and then say, you are playing victims. You are not victims. My family, when someone sends a threat towards you, towards your life, aren't you a victim? Aren't you a victim? You or me, when someone does it to you or me, we can go to the police. Say, police, this happened. The police write a report down. And say, this person made a death threat towards you on live TV. You're a victim. You're the one who's being targeted by that person. And in this case, that person is Jeremy Kyle. My family, they just can't stand seeing Harry happy with a biracial black woman. And that Harry loves her, supports her, takes care of her, protects Meghan. For all of these years, they only thought that Meghan would leave. Never did they ever think that Harry would leave with Meghan, and they were wrong. And to this day, they have kept on hounding Harry and Meghan every day, calling for them to divorce and break apart so Harry can come back to the UK and follow William around and be miserable, because that was the destiny of the pair. My family, there is a saying, you only ever live once. And in this life, do what's right for you. Don't pick misery for anyone. If you have a special someone in your life, fight for that love. Protect that love. Let no one tell you to leave or abandon your family, your wife and kids, to please people who throughout your whole life can't even hug you when you've lost your mother. People in your life who leak against you if it means they get good press, like what Charles Camilla has done. And they say they love Harry. Or William, who physically assaults his own brother Harry and then tells Harry, I love you, while demanding that Harry puts, Meghan in her place. That Harry agrees with William, calling Meghan rude, abrasive, and difficult. Racist tropes used against women of color. Don't let anyone ruin your happiness, your love, to please your abusers. Don't ever let anyone ever do that. And yes, Harry and Meghan are victims. Victims of 6 years of smear campaign and hate campaign and vile rhetoric meant to incite hate and death threats against both Harry and Meghan. And my family, the former head of counter-terrorism, Neil Basu, said exactly what he said, and he was right. Don't forget one thing. Media outlets in the UK are mostly right-wing leaning. There's also far-right. And Neil Basu, the former head of counter-terrorism, said this. Please just hear what he said himself. My family.
You're in charge of royal protection. How would you characterise the threats that Meghan and Harry received?
Well, disgusting and very real. I've talked publicly for many years about the threat of extreme right-wing terrorism in this country. I've often been misquoted as taking my eye off the ball, as though I think that was the biggest threat. I've never called it the biggest threat, but it was the fastest growing. And my wonderful friend and counterpart at MI5 will tell you exactly the same thing, that when I started in CT in 2015... Counterterrorism, it was about 6% of our total workload. Certainly when I left 15, 16 months ago, it was over 20% of our workload.
But there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan, were there, emanating from the far right?
Absolutely. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time.
So you were convinced that there was a genuine threat to Meghan's life on more than one occasion, on several occasions?
Absolutely. We had teams investigating it. People have been prosecuted for those threats.
My family, you've heard that yourself. And once again, someone who is right-wing leaning works at Talk TV. Jeremy Kyle on live TV has incited violence against Meghan on live TV. On live TV, on Talk TV, owned by Rupert Murdoch himself. Once again today. And my family, don't forget what Meghan said. The threats are real. You're making her scared. You, the likes of Jeremy Kyle, Clarkson, Piers Morgan, the royal family, you, the rhetoric of the tabloids is making people want to cause harm to Harry and Meghan. But yet they wonder why Harry and Meghan need security, why Harry is in court to fight for the safety of his wife and son while in the UK. Some people wonder, really, after what you just have seen and have constantly heard, my family. And this is the third day in a row that I'm discussing a threat against Harry and Meghan being made on live TV. Believe me when I say that makes me so sad. And those threats come from people working on TV. From people who call themselves journalists on TV. It's coming from them against Harry and Meghan. Now, I've done some research on this guy, Jeremy Kyle, that I'd like to share with you, please. Apparently, after someone appeared on his show, which was cancelled, really, someone took his own life. Someone called Steve Diamond, after appearing on his show. And members of parliament, got involved. Now, Jeremy Kyle, based on reports on his show, used a bullying methodology and abusive language to provoke participants on his cancelled talk show. Members of parliament said, I want to repeat that, Jeremy Kyle used a bullying methodology and abusive language to provoke participants on his cancelled talk show. Members of parliament have said. Members of parliament have said. They said Jeremy used a bullying methodology and abusive language to provoke participants on his cancelled talk show, with the host swearing, sometimes edited out, before broadcast to give a misleading impression to audiences. How is this person not in prison? He will say free speech, that's why he isn't in prison. But what they mean is hate speech. My family, that's what they truly, truly mean. Now, my family, allow me to just read you this, please. It is clear that once the cameras began rolling on the Jeremy Kyle show, there was no safe space for anyone in a highly distressed state, verified by the behind-the-scenes footage passed to the committee by a whistleblower, said a committee chair in Parliament, Damian Collins. Now, my family, let me go right ahead to the end of this article, please. ITV dropped the Jeremy Kyle show following the death of participant Steve Diamond. And because of what he did, ITV had to introduce guidelines for all its reality TV shows, including Love Island. And they made it difficult for a similar show that Jeremy Kyle was in to be broadcast on UK TV in the future. And guess what happens after that? Jeremy Kyle got a job at Talk TV, owned by Rupert Murdoch. My family. So people have lost their lives on his show. Please also hear this. In May 2019, the show was immediately suspended after it emerged that Steve Diamond, who had filmed an episode of the Salford Studios just a week prior, had been found dead. The program ended for good following calls for it to be cancelled from members of parliament and members of the public after someone lost a life. And I've told you this before. These people have gotten away with murder. And when they get away with murder, because it's their words really that provoke people, that make people even want to end their lives. I mean, that hate rhetoric against Meghan Markle was enough to make her want to contemplate to take her own life. And that's what they clearly continue to do. Caroline Flack took her own life. Diana chased to her death. Meghan wanted to take her own life. Steve Diamond took his own life. And the reason they keep doing it is because they got away with it. The only way this public bullying smear campaign ever stops is if people are held accountable for lives already lost because of the bullying of the media, of tabloids, of people like Jeremy Kyle, who incite violence on live TV, People have lost their lives, my family. And today you can add Steve Diamond, who lost his life because of someone who now works at Talk TV, his show, the actions of his show, about how toxic that show was, the point that one person, Steve Diamond, took his own life because of the show, which was hosted by Jeremy Kyle himself. My family, I think I've said enough, please. But it's sad that 3 days in a row, I've had to report on a threat to Harry and Meghan. Today it's Meghan Markle. Yesterday it was Steve Diamond. The other day it was Colin Flack. Then it was Diana. How many more? Until people say enough is enough and demand accountability for the lives already lost, because the rhetoric of the UK media. It's time people demand for accountability. My family, I'm happy that people are condemning Jeremy Kyle's rhetoric against Meghan Markle, but more needs to be done, my family. More needs to be done, my family. And with that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our evergreen family on YouTube. God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lily Petana, and Dora Raglan, and all of you members of the squad at home. Hate never wins, only love wins. These people live miserable lives, and they see that's how happy Harry and Meghan are, and they can't stand it. The two people, a couple, that they have tried to separate for a long time, are thriving and are happy after 6 years of bullying and smear campaign. My family, Harry and Meghan, are victims. They are not playing the victims. It's important I end also by saying that, my family. Stay tuned to our next video. Hate never wins, love wins. Love you always and forever. God bless you all. Stay tuned to our next video. Hello, members of Zesco Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Zesco Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.